Alright, get ready for what I think is going to be a long video. I'm going to be reviewing every single Walt Disney Animation Studios film. Now, to go over some ground rules first, this only covers the official canon of Walt Disney Animation Studios films. So, does that include a Goofy movie? No, it does not, unfortunately. I love a Goofy movie. I have nothing against it, but unfortunately, it's not on that list. Movies like Goofy Movie and all those garbage animated sequels, they're all made by like Disney Toon Studios or other like subsidiaries of the Walt Disney Company, and they're not actually made by that studio. So I'm going to be focusing on just that list of films, which is 58. So that should take us some time to get through. So without further ado, here we go. Number 1, Snow White. And wow, what a film to start with. Not only is this the very first full-length animated film, but somehow they knocked it out of the park with the very first one. This movie is amazing. I love Snow White. I love the dwarves. They're hilarious. It has a very simple story, yet it somehow is so emotional and beautiful, and this film still holds up after more than 80 years. It's incredible. Number 2, Pinocchio. And my goodness, somehow they topped Snow White. I personally love Snow White more than Pinocchio, but on a technical level, Pinocchio is just out of this world. It's really good. It has just a bigger sense of scale to it than Snow White does, a much grander story, and the animation is just incredible. Even for 1940, the animation still holds up. It's so incredible. Number 3, Fantasia. An interesting film. I do like Fantasia, but at a little over 2 hours, this film can be really hard to just sit through in one sitting. Each segment on its own is really good, and a lot of the sequences are really beautiful. Some more than others, definitely. But still a really good film overall. I would just recommend watching it in pieces. Number 4, Dumbo. Another very sweet film, just like Snow White. Also pretty emotional in some spots. Not quite as ambitious as the previous 3 films, but there's still a lot to love about Dumbo. He's so wholesome. I don't know, just the relationship between him and Timothy Mouse is just really wholesome and sweet, and it's such a joy to watch, even if it is a little bit smaller scale. Number 5, Bambi. I actually just released a video on this, and you should totally check it out, by the way. Bambi is really good. I really love Bambi. It does have some plot problems, some pacing problems. The film can seem a little slow, but besides that, the theming in Bambi is amazing. From just this whole circle of life, if you will, kind of feel to it. It works really, really well. Bambi has some really beautiful animation, really great characters, definitely emotional. This is a good one. Number 6, Saludos Amigos. So another really interesting one. The first 5 films were the golden age of Disney, and now we're moving on to the package films, which are generally considered of lesser quality, and it kind of shows. Saludos Amigos is really good. I love Donald Duck. I love Jose Carioca. They're both really great together. But this one just does have a little bit of a different feel to it, maybe a bit of a dated feel to it, but still worth a watch anyway. Number 7, The Three Caballeros. And I think I like Saludos Amigos better than this one. This does have some good segments that I really like, and they really incorporated animation and live action together really well. But man, the film ends on just this weird fever dream with Donald falling in love with this woman or something. I don't know. It's very strange, but it goes on for too long. Definitely overstays its welcome. I wish it was a little bit shorter like Saludos Amigos was. Number 8, Make Mine Music. There are way too many shorts in this particular film for me to review all of them. Some standouts, though, are Casey at Bat and All the Cats Join In. I do really like those two. but there are also some really boring shorts as well. I'm not gonna lie. Eh, this one's okay, definitely. Number 9, Fun and Fancy Free. This one is composed of only 2 longer segments instead of many smaller ones. We have Mickey and the Beanstalk and Bongo. And I really love this film. This is one of those ones that I grew up watching as a kid. And even today, they still really hold up. Both are really good segments. Mickey and the Beanstalk is a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see all of the major Disney characters like Mickey and Donald and Goofy all together on screen, because I think this film might be the only time that happened. And Bongo is really good, very sweet story. I really like both these shorts. Number 10, Melody Time. And I'd say that this film is just as good as Make My Music. There are fewer segments in it, but the segments that are there are better, I think. But this film also does contain trees, which, if you've never seen it, wow, it is truly the most boring thing I've ever seen in my whole life. But overall, this is really good, especially since it contains Pico Spill and The Legend of Johnny Appleseed, both of which are really standout segments in this film. So overall, okay. It's okay. Number 11, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. And this is the last package film, and the movies get much better from here on out. However, I do really, really love this film. I think it's just as good as any full-length animated film. It's pretty much in the same vein as Fun and Fancy Free, where instead of many shorter segments, we have 2 longer ones again, with The Wind in the Willows and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, both of which are standouts. I mean, from Wind in the Willows, Mr. Toad is so much fun. I love this segment. And The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is just as good. The music in it is really great. This is definitely the standout of all the package films. This is the best one. Number 12, Cinderella. And so here it is. We've come to our first princess movie since Snow White, the very first one. And what a return to form. We've gotten past the package films, and we now have one big complete story, and Cinderella is really good. I really enjoy this film. Maybe not quite so much as other princess movies, but there's still a lot to love here. The music in it is really great. The mice in the movie are hilarious. I get a kick out of them every time. So one of our first really good villains with Lady Tremaine, and her daughters, who are just awful. But overall, this is a really quality, excellent film. Number 13, Alice in Wonderland. And yes, I am recording to you from the future because somehow I forgot to make a review for Alice in Wonderland and recorded 2 for Peter Pan instead. No idea how I did that, but I did it. So anyway, Alice in Wonderland is a top 10 for me. I love this movie so much. I love Alice. I love her design. I love her sassiness. I love the fact that she doesn't want to put up with the BS of any of the other characters in the movie. And speaking of the other characters, every single one of them is so unique and fun and entertaining. Some may consider this movie episodic, and I get that, but man, I can't just help but love this movie's charm. Wonderland looks great. I love the music and the songs. I love all the characters. This one is just so endlessly entertaining for me. Number 14, Peter Pan. This is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. And this will easily appear in like a top 5, probably even top 3 list. I love this movie so much. And a lot of that is nostalgia speaking, I could admit that. But even looking past all the nostalgia, this is a really fun movie. It has this great swashbuckling feel to it that you don't really get in maybe any other Disney movie, maybe except Treasure Planet. But really quality film. I love the characters. I love the songs. I love the look and feel of Neverland. This this movie just brings so many good feels to me every time I watch it. This is a really, really excellent film. Number 15, Lady and the Tramp. This one's okay. I'm not going to say that it's a bad film because it's not. There's just not much going on in it in terms of plot. It's mostly just lady and tramp falling in love, and they do have a really sweet story together, but there's just not a whole lot going on, not a lot of plot to speak of. So this film can feel like it kind of drags a little bit to me personally. Number 16, Sleeping Beauty. This is another movie that I've done a review on, and you should totally watch it after you're done with this video. Sleeping Beauty is, to me, a perfect movie. I actually have no qualms with this movie whatsoever. Every single moment, I think, is standout and excellent. I love all the characters, especially Maleficent. She just steals the spotlight. The music is amazing. The artwork, especially the backgrounds, it's just gorgeous. This movie is truly one for the history books. This is an incredible movie. Number 17, 101 Dalmatians. I'm going to have a little bit of an unpopular opinion on this one. I know a lot of people love the look of this film, which is achieved through xerography, and that's a whole other thing for me to get into about the technology behind that, but it does give the films a very different look, and I don't really know how much I care for it. I think the characters and everything look really great, but I don't really like the backgrounds, the colored outside the lines look. I don't know. A lot of people find that appealing. I personally don't. It's not really anything I'm a huge fan of. But other than that, this is a really good movie. Cruella de Vil is probably one of the most entertaining Disney villains of all time. Maybe not my personal favorite, but she's a lot of fun to have on screen. A lot of really good music. So yeah. Number 18, The Sword and the Stone. Honestly, it's a pretty passable film. I don't really have a lot of great things to say about it. There are some parts that are entertaining, and like the wizard battle, I do really like that. That's entertaining, but I don't know. The rest of the movie is just kind of bland. I don't really like the ending. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if Arthur had been able to show some of the skills that he's learned throughout the film. But he gets to the end and he becomes king, and he's like, Merlin, I don't really know what to do anymore. I don't know. It didn't really feel like the movie went anywhere because of that. So I'm kind of disappointed with that ending. So yeah, mixed feelings about this one for sure. Number 19, The Jungle Book. Another okay one. I don't know. This one's has never really grown on me. There's a lot of really great music in this, a lot of really fun characters. But I think that's kind of where it ends in terms of my love for the film. I don't know. There's not too much going on story-wise. Kind of episodic. Kind of feels all over the place. So yeah, another one that I have mixed feelings for. Number 20, The Aristocats. Yeah, we're just kind of on a stretch of okay Disney movies. There's not a lot that I love about this. There's some really funny moments, but I don't know. Thomas O'Malley, he's basically just a clone of Baloo from The Jungle Book. Even the same voice actor and everything. I don't know. It feels kind of lazy to me. Edgar has to be the most boring Disney villain of all time, offering nothing that is redeemable. I just don't really care for him as a villain. And gosh, the scenes with the two dogs where Edgar's with him, I don't know, they go on for far too long. Yeah, just a lot of like really pointless stuff in this movie to me. So yeah, not a big winner here. Number 21, Robin Hood. This one's good. I'm not going to say it's great, but there are some really funny moments. But I don't know, there's nothing striking about it. There's nothing striking about the animation or the story or the characters, except maybe for Prince John. He could be really funny. I have to admit. Um, but they did it again. They basically just brought Baloo back uh, as Little John, but even the same voice actor. So I don't know. This one just kind of feels like they're plumbing into laziness even more. Sorry. Number 22, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. One of Pooh's first on screen appearances. It kind of feels like he's always been a Disney character, but that wasn't the case. Now, this movie was cobbled together from some previously released shorts, along with some new material that was made specifically for the whole feature film. And honestly, it kind of shows another episodic movie. It almost kind of feels like a package film, the way everything's so segmented without having one cohesive story. So I don't know. I would knock off a couple points for that. But other than that, it's Winnie the Pooh, and you kind of can't go wrong with him. He and the other residents of the 100 Acre Wood are always such a delight, so charming and funny. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. Number 23, The Rescuers. I really like this movie. This one's really good. It's not one that I grew up with or grew up watching. This one I kind of saw recently as an adult. But I don't know. There's something I really like about it. There's just kind of this offbeat charm to it. I especially really love the dynamic between Bernard and Bianca. They're such great characters. They work so well on screen together. And honestly, whenever they're on screen, it's my favorite part of the movie. Penny's adorable. Gotta give her points for that. Madame Medusa is also a really entertaining villain. So yeah, there's a lot I really like about this movie. Number 24, The Fox and the Hound. I don't know. This one's okay for me. And I know a lot of people really love this movie. I don't know. There's just nothing really about it that's grabbed me. It doesn't really feel so much like a Disney movie. I don't know. I guess in a lot of ways it does because, talking animals and all that. But I don't know. It feels a little too adult in some ways. I don't know. It's kind of a downer ending, which is really weird for a Disney movie. I don't know. The songs aren't that great. I know there's not very many songs in it, but what is there is just never really appealed to me. And the whole thing with the birds and the caterpillar, I don't even remember the birds' names, but Lord, they were chasing that caterpillar for way too long. That gag started to get really old really fast. So, yeah, not a lot to love in this movie for me personally. Number 25, The Black Cauldron. I'm just going to go right out and say it. This is probably Disney's first, bad movie. It's not good. It's pretty much swept under the rug and buried for a reason. I don't know. I know it kind of has a cult following. I don't really understand it. I think my biggest thing about it is that it's a saving the world story, but we learn nothing about the world. We learn nothing about it. We don't know what the world's like. We don't know the people that live in it, except maybe for that fairy race, and that's kind of it. But I don't know. There are these world-ending stakes, but we, as the viewer, are never given until a look of what we should be invested in as far as what the characters are trying to save. So, yeah, I don't know. This film just does not do it for me by any stretch. That and the characters are just boring and bland. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't say really much good about this movie, except for the Horned King. He is pretty cool, actually. Number 26, The Great Mouse Detective. I love this movie. Maybe it's the nostalgia speaking because this is one that I grew up with and watched as a kid. I don't know. There's just a unique charm to this movie that I really like. Basil and his compadres are all just such really fun characters. And Ratigan, don't get me started on how good of a villain Ratigan is. He is the best part of the movie, hands down, especially when he goes totally ape on Basil at the end of the movie. I don't know. He's super funny, super entertaining. One of my favorite Disney villains for sure. So yeah, there's a lot that I love about The Great Mouse Detective. Number 27, Oliver and Company. This one's okay. I know a lot of people really love this movie, so this is probably going to be another unpopular opinion. I don't really see the appeal in it. I'm not really a huge fan of 80s music, and this movie is pretty much nothing but that. And this was the very first film. Well, it's not the first film to use CGI, but it definitely is the first Disney film to use a lot of CGI. And I think it relied too heavily on that because the CGI in this movie is really bad. It's just bad. And I don't know. The last time I watched the movie, I was so distracted by how bad it was. It was just so dated. It took me right out of the story. I couldn't even like pay attention to what was happening on the screen because my eyes just didn't want to take in this bad CGI. Um, Other than that, though, it's a cute story. I'll give it that. Oliver's cute, and his relationship with the girl, whatever her name was, I don't even remember. Uh, that was cute enough. So, yeah, it was okay. Number 28, The Little Mermaid. Here we are at the Renaissance, the second golden age of Disney movies, and what a way to kick it off. I love The Little Mermaid. Every song, and I mean literally every single song, is so good. This movie is fantastic. It's so funny. Every character is likable and charming. Even Ursula, in some ways. The story's great. The emotions are real in this movie, and this is kind of our first Disney prince in Eric to actually have like a personality, believe it or not. So yeah, this one is absolutely like an A plus in my book. I love The Little Mermaid so much. Number 29, The Rescuers Down Under. Disney's very first sequel that was actually made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. And it's pretty good. I do like this movie a lot. There's a lot that I like about it. They definitely capture the spirit of Bernard and Bianca, especially with the subplot of Bernard trying to propose to Bianca. Such a cute subplot. I really like that. The animation in this movie is really stunning, especially the stuff with the Golden Eagle. That was all really great. Story-wise, it's fine. I don't really have anything good or bad to say about it. It's pretty good. So yeah, overall, I like this movie. Number 30, Beauty and the Beast. A perfect movie. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I have pretty much no qualms with Beauty and the Beast. This film is absolutely incredible. Belle is such a great lead, such a great character. Her relationship with Beast is so organic and real. Some argue that it might feel rushed at times. I get that. I disagree with it, but I understand where they're coming from when they say that. I think it's really well fleshed out. And Gaston is such an entertaining villain. And the music in this movie is just incredible, especially Be Our Guest. That is, to me, hands down the best musical number of the Renaissance. Be Our Guest is amazing. So yeah, this one, truly an incredible movie. Number 31, Aladdin. Another amazing movie. If I had one bad thing to say about it, it's Genie's references are definitely becoming really dated. I mean, even I don't understand a lot of the references that he makes, but that still doesn't stop him from being a really great character and from being really funny. And of course, we have Robin Williams to thank for that amazing performance. But besides him, Aladdin is truly incredible. Really, really well-designed movie. It looks visually stunning. All the music is so good, especially A Whole New World. Absolutely amazing. And I really do love the romance between Aladdin and Jasmine because it once again felt really organic. One of the best ways to incorporate romance into your plot is to make it so the two characters need something from one another, or they have something in common. And that is definitely something that Aladdin and Jasmine have, because they both feel trapped in some ways, and they both want what the other has. And so they kind of play off each other really well in that regard. So yeah, Aladdin, really, really good. Number 32, The Lion King. Wow, wow, wow! What a truly special movie The Lion King is. I don't really think there's another Disney film like it. It's visually just just stunning, even by today's standards. Absolutely gorgeous film. Such an epic story too. Like, who knew Disney would get into um, royalty and betrayal and murder and all this, like it, and yet it's somehow appealing to everybody. Like, wow, that is a huge feat. That is a really huge feat, and Disney just knocked it out of the park with The Lion King. Really great music, really great characters, such an emotional and touching story with a riveting climax and where everything all just comes together emotionally. Oh yeah, The Lion. There are constantly goosebumps on my arms when I watch The Lion King. Truly a very, very special and incredible movie. Number 33, Pocahontas. This one's probably one of the lesser movies of the Renaissance, at least to me personally. Um, Visually, really incredible. I mean, and no one can deny that. Pocahontas looks amazing. Um, I don't know. It's a very adult story, and I do think it works well in a lot of places. I don't know. There's just something about it that is always kind of lacked for me, and I can never really explain it. Unfortunately, I'm not really gonna do a good job of explaining it here. All I can really say is this movie just doesn't really do it for me like the other Renaissance movies do, unfortunately. Number 34, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Another really incredible movie. It's such a unique movie. This Hunchback is really special to me. Really incredible story, visually stunning. Every character is so unique and likable, except Frollo. But Frollo also happens to be probably my favorite Disney villain. Definitely top three. He's such a great villain. He just sends shivers up my spine in the best way. And this movie is truly touching. Like it really just hits me where I'm human, if that makes sense. It's a very human story that really speaks to humanity and learning to treat others equally despite what they may look like. And that's a really adult and very very touching story. So I really, really love this movie. Number 35, Hercules. This is a really good movie. This is really good. And I think the best word that I can use for it is just fun. Like, Hercules is so fun to watch. Anytime I put it on, it's so entertaining, especially Hades. Truly a unique and very special Disney villain. He's really great. But yeah, that's the best thing I could say about Hercules. It's just a really fun and entertaining watch. Number 36, Mulan. This is a really great movie. Lots of really good music, especially Reflection. Truly an incredible Disney song. I really love it. And there's a lot to love about this movie. Shan Yu is okay as a villain. I don't know, not very standout, but the other characters so entertaining, especially Mushu. I'm not a particularly huge Eddie Murphy fan, but he still never fails to get a laugh out of me in Mulan. So yeah, I have to give him props for that. Number 37, Tarzan. Another really great movie, and this is the last one of the Renaissance. Unfortunately, the ones from here on out become a little hit or miss, but Tarzan is really, really good. There is a lot to love about Tarzan. Truly stunning animation, especially just character animation, with this movie featuring so many different animals. Disney's really captured the movements of them all. And I'm going to include Tarzan in there. I know he's not an animal, but just the way he moves and interacts with the environment is really, there's really a lot of attention to detail. I really love it. Some really great music. Phil Collins definitely knocks it out of the park with a lot of these movies, or with a lot of these songs. So yeah, a lot to love about Tarzan. Number 38, Fantasia 2000. Wow, if there was one thing that no one expected, it was that Fantasia of all movies would get a sequel. I guess it's ripe for one, because I mean, as long as you're able to make musical sequences and set them to animation, you can make a Fantasia movie. This one's definitely a lot more watchable than the original one. I don't think it quite reaches up to the greatness and the grandness of the original, if that makes sense. But it's definitely a lot more watchable in that it's much shorter. So it's definitely a lot easier to just sit down and watch it all in one sitting as opposed to the original. But I do love a lot of the sequences in this movie. So yeah, Fantasia 2000, really good. Number 39, Dinosaur. What a nothing movie. That's all I really have to say about it. It's so bland. It's like watching white paint dry. It's just so bland. The characters are bland. The story is bland. The animation and the environment is bland. It's brown dinosaurs walking against a brown background. There's truly nothing special about this movie. It's just so boring from start to finish. So, sorry, Dinosaur. Number 40, The Emperor's New Groove. Truly a very special Disney movie. And I'm sure it's special to a lot of you as well. The Emperor's New Groove is probably like the very first Disney movie that's truly meant to be like a comedy. And of course, Disney movies always have humor to them, always. But there's something unique about The Emperor's New Groove. It's like comedy is its one driving force, and that can be hit or miss for a movie, because if that's your focal point and you're not funny, then the whole movie's tanks. But fortunately, The Emperor's New Groove is hilarious. Almost everything that comes out of the character's mouth makes you laugh, makes me laugh, and it comes from every character too. It's so quirky and off the wall, and I love it for that. Number 41, Atlantis: The Lost Empire. This one is okay. There's not a lot that I love about the story. I don't know. It's just okay. It wants to be shrouded in mysticism, but I don't know. I'm just not very mystified. I don't really care for the character animation or character designs. They're just okay. I don't know. The characters just look weird to me. That might just be a personal choice. But one thing I do want to say about this movie, though, is this is probably the first first Disney movie with really good-looking CGI. Like the CGI in this movie is really good, and it definitely says a lot about the things that Disney has planned for later movies. So yeah, just an okay one. Number 42, Lilo and Stitch. This is a really great movie. I love the dynamic between Lilo and Stitch. They're such great characters. Even though Stitch hardly says any words at all, he still manages to be so entertaining, so likable, even as like almost kind of like a villain for the first half of the movie or so, even though he's clearly not meant to be the villain, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I really love this movie. There's something very charming about it. Maybe it's the setting, the fact that it takes place in Hawaii. Very unique setting for a Disney movie. Yeah, a lot to love about Lilo and Stitch. Number 43, Treasure Planet. This is such an outstanding movie and has definitely become a cult classic nowadays. And I am fully in with the cult. I have drank the Kool-Aid for this movie for sure. Treasure Planet is really special. The characters of Jim and John Silver are truly special. I love their relationship, the back and forth nature of it. You're constantly wondering what Silver's planning next, and I think it provides a lot of really good tension throughout the movie. The only thing that mars this movie for me is Ben, the robot, and Lord, Ben is so annoying. And if he wasn't on screen, or in the movie at all, then man, this movie would be so much better. Or at least if they just toned down the obnoxiousness. I don't really care for the kind of characters that are meant to be obnoxious. It doesn't come across as funny to me. It honestly just comes across as obnoxious. But I don't want to spend too long on that because Treasure Planet is something really special. What a really, really great movie. Number 44, Brother Bear. This one is kind of bland. Yeah, I think it's better than Dinosaur in terms of blandness, but I don't know. I think right up until the point that Kenai gets turned into a bear, the movie's actually pretty okay. I don't know. I kind of have the same problem with Coda that I do with Ben from Treasure Planet, in that Coda's just kind of obnoxious to me. I just don't really care for him as a character. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's not really a lot that I like about this movie. Kind of a touching end, I will say that. It can get pretty emotional, but other than that, this one just doesn't really do it for me. Number 45, Home on the Range. I wish I knew what to say about this movie. I didn't know it was possible for a movie to be so soul draining. uh, this is without a doubt the worst movie that Disney has ever put out, ever. And I hope it's the worst movie that they ever put out, because Lord, if they want to top how bad this movie is, they're gonna have to try really hard, really hard. There is absolutely no redeeming qualities about Home on the Range. Just absolutely none. The characters are bad. The songs are bad. What songs are there? The animation is not good. And Lord, don't get me started on Buck the horse. Oh my gosh. The most annoying character that Disney has ever made or ever will make. Like, wow, it just blows my mind how bad this movie is. Like, even the bottom of the barrel Disney movies still have like something to like about them, but not this movie. This is the first truly bad Disney movie. Okay, I gotta stop here and move on, because Lord, my blood is gonna start boiling. Number 46, Chicken Little. Almost as bad as Home on the Range. Almost. It's not quite as bad. But this is, without a doubt, to me, the second worst movie that Disney has ever made. And it's such a shame that two movies from Disney back to back end up being so bad. But this is Disney's very first fully CGI animated movie. You can't count Dinosaur, because Dinosaur had filmed or was filmed on location, and so the whole movie is not CGI. But Chicken Little's the first fully CGI movie, and wow, the age shows. The movie looks just awful. The character designs are bland. I don't like the Toontown look of the town they live in. None of it comes together. I mean, the movie's halfway decent in the first half, when it's kind of like this emotional story, I guess, about like a father and son, like trying to bond over their differences or whatever. And I mean, that's okay, but then they turn it into a sci-fi movie. And I mean, it's exactly halfway through the movie that they start introducing the sci-fi elements. It is exactly halfway through. You can look at the time when Chicken Little discovers that a piece of the sky falling is like alien technology. It's so bizarre. And after that, the movie just tanks. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, honestly, with Chicken Little. It's just a bad movie overall. Number 47, Meet the Robinsons. This is one I really like. I might even say love. I love this movie. The characters are really great and really touching. I do have some qualms with the plot in terms of time travel, but I mean, with any time travel story, you're going to have plot holes. It's just kind of unavoidable. So I'll kind of give the movie a pass on that, I guess. But wow, the ending of this movie is so moving. It almost moves me to tears how good the ending of this movie is. It's so touching. Yeah, truly a really great movie. I love this one. Number 48, Bolt. This one is okay. There's a lot that I do like about it. This movie is really funny. I can't deny that. But Bolt is just kind of a blandish character. I don't know. There's nothing like really too special about him. It almost just kind of feels like a rehash of Toy Story in a way, um, where Bolt is Buzz, who thinks he's a space ranger, and Mittens is like, "You are not a toy. I mean, you are not a superhero." Like, I don't know. It feels like kind of a rehash, so I will have to take some points off for that. But Bolt is still good. It has its moments for sure. Number 49, The Princess and the Frog. This is a really great movie. I love this movie a lot. There's a lot to like about it. The animation is incredible. Pretty much every single song just knocks it out of the park for me. I love the music in this movie. I love the relationship between Tiana and Naveen. I think they work really well together. It's another one of those cases where it's two opposite characters needing something from one another. So their romance ends up working out really well. Dr. Facilier is such a fun and entertaining villain. He's really great. So yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this one at all. Number 50, Tangled. And hey, number 50, that's a milestone for sure. Tangled is a really great movie. I love this one. Really, really great characters. Rapunzel and Flynn are just so much fun together. And this is the first CGI movie that looks truly stunning. There's a lot to love visually about this movie, especially like the lantern scene and / I See the Light. And wow, that scene is amazing. Goosebumps every time I watch it. I love Gothel as a villain. She's so entertaining. And I especially love her because she's, manipulative. And we don't get too many villains like that. Normally villains rely on like their magic powers or whatever. But Gothel is threatening just because she's so manipulative. And I think that makes her a really great villain. So yeah, Tangled, really, really good. Number 51, Winnie the Pooh. First thing I want to say about this movie, it is too short. Way too short. This movie supposedly has a runtime of like an hour and 10 minutes, but the credits take up like 15 minutes of that runtime. So you're actually getting like 55 minutes of actual like movie, actual story. It's way too short. But other than that, I love Winnie the Pooh. There's something just so, I don't know, charming and heartwarming about this movie. It is absolutely side-splitting. Can't stop laughing the whole way through it. Yeah, just such a really sweet and wholesome story. I really love this one. Number 52, Wreck-It Ralph. I like this one a lot. There's a lot to love about this movie. I'm a huge video gamer, so I can really appreciate most of the video game references that they throw in there. But even besides that, there's something so touching about this story between Ralph and Vanellope. I especially think it's really cool for Disney to go for a story between a male and a female lead that doesn't lead to romance. That does not usually happen in Disney movies. So the fact that they switched up the formula for this one is pretty refreshing. It's just a really beautiful platonic friendship, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I really love this movie, despite all of its high energy and loud music and everything. It's a surprisingly touching and emotional story. Number 53, Frozen. This is a really good one, right up until that plot twist with Hans. Man, I hated that. I'm not gonna lie, that really like sours the whole movie for me. I mean, I could still enjoy the rest of it just fine. I love the characters, Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Olaf, all of them. I mean, they're all really great characters, really a lot of fun, really great music. And I'm not gonna knock, Let It Go just because it's so prevalent. I'm not gonna be like cool or hip and say it's bad because it's, overplayed. That's not the song's fault. Um, yeah, that whole Hans plot twist just coming out of nowhere just leaves a bad taste on my mouth. I think it would have been so much more interesting if they had made Elsa, not the villain. I didn't want Elsa to be the villain, but if Elsa had continued being the source of contention and conflict in the movie rather than it just suddenly being diverted to someone else, I think that would have worked a lot better. So yeah, other than the whole Hans thing, Frozen's pretty good. Number 54, Big Hero 6. This is a phenomenal movie. Absolutely love it. The story between Hero and Baymax is so touching and heartwarming and hilarious. So many feels in this movie. I love all the supporting characters that make up Big Hero 6. That's really great. I do think the twist villain in Big Hero 6 was certainly a lot better than it was in Frozen. So I don't really have any complaints there. Yeah, this one's a really solid movie for sure. Number 55, Zootopia. This is only the third time I've said this. Perfect movie here. Perfect movie. I have zero issues, zero problems with Zootopia. Not a single one to name. Everything about it just is firing on all cylinders. Nick and Judy are such entertaining characters. So much fun watching their personalities play off each other and just the way they get on each other's nerves, but then the way that they warm up to each other throughout the film. I love that Disney wasn't afraid to tackle such a sensitive subject like prejudice and racism in such a tactful and impactful way. Kudos to them. I know I couldn't write a story like that. But yeah, they handle the subject so delicately and yet so directly. I feel like this is a really rare film that that expresses or that goes into such a delicate topic without beating you over the head about morals. Yeah, this is a perfectly balanced movie. I think that's the best way to say it. Yeah, this movie is absolutely incredible. Number 56, Moana. This is an incredible movie as well, like so many others. And I think this is the best looking movie in Disney's library that is CGI. This movie is beautiful to behold. Every single scene is so richly detailed, so beautifully animated. Man, I remember watching this like on my 4K TV for the first time. Well, I did get to see it in theaters, but just being able to be so close to the action and see all the incredible detail that they put in up close is mesmerizing. And Moana is such a great character. Maui is such a great character. They once again, two mains in a Disney movie that play off each other really well in a really entertaining way. So yeah, Moana, absolutely amazing. Love it. Number 57, Ralph Breaks the Internet. Another sequel for Disney. Hopefully we won't be seeing too much of it, but the next film and the last film is also another sequel. But still really good. I do like this movie a lot. If there's one thing that I have to say about it, I'm not a huge fan of Ralph's arc. I mean, I like the direction they take it. I think they just went a little too heavy-handed with Ralph's insecurity thing. I love that they use that as a play on words when he makes the virus that copies his own insecurity. I think that's really clever, but I don't know. I just think it's really too heavy-handed the way they handled Ralph. He seemed like just too emotionally attached. I don't know. I just don't think it was really becoming of his character. Maybe that's more like a personal choice than anything. But and I also want to say that this movie is quickly going to become dated in terms of the pop culture references and internet culture and all that. It's going to go out of date really fast. And I have a feeling that when my own kids one day are going to be old enough to watch them, that they're not going to know half of what the movie is referencing. So I'm a little worried about that. But otherwise, this is a really great movie. And now, here we are, the very last film. Finally, number 58, Frozen 2, the latest movie from Disney at the time of this video being released. And I like this more than the first one, honestly. I know that's kind of a hot take, but hey, that's my take. Mostly because I think this film did a lot better with its villain in the fact that it didn't really have one. I mean, I guess you can kind of consider Anna and Elsa's grandfather in some way. I mean, he did villainous things, before the events of the movie, and it's not like they had to take down him or anything. So I definitely wouldn't consider him the villain. But just more the situation that they find themselves in, and working against that. I think that's a much better source of conflict than a surprise twist villain that didn't make any sense whatsoever. But yeah, Frozen 2, definitely a really good one. Like I said, I enjoyed it quite a bit more than the first one. A lot of really good songs, beautifully animated. Yeah, got really no big problems with this one. Whew. We finally made it through all 58 Walt Disney Animation Studios pictures. Hey, if you made it to the end of this video, I commend you. I know this was a long one, but I had a lot of fun making it. I've done 2 watch-throughs of every single movie in Walt Disney's library from in chronological order from start to finish. It takes a long time to watch 58 movies. Well, it wasn't that many the first time I did it, but still takes a long time. But yeah, I had a lot of fun reminiscing about these movies again, both the good and the bad. Thankfully, there's a lot more good than there is bad. I think we can all appreciate that. So once again, thanks so much for making it to the end of this video, for sticking it out with me. I'd love to hear what your guys' favorite movies are out of this catalog. If you guys want to post those down in the comments and we can chit-chat about our favorite Disney movies, that sounds like a good time to me. So thanks again. Would really appreciate a subscription, appreciate a like, ringing that bell to get notified of any new videos that I post. And I really appreciate you guys watching Filmographer. Thank you.